There is a water bottle sitting on your car seat right now. Or it was there yesterday, half full and forgotten in the sun. Ordinary, boring, completely harmless. But here's the thing nobody tells you when you buy it. Left on that seat, in the right patch of afternoon light, that same bottle can catch the seat on fire. Not warm it, not fog it. Catch it on fire, the kind that starts as a scorch mark and ends with smoke pouring out of your garage. How does a bottle of water, sitting completely still, set your own car seat burning? This is why leaving a water bottle in your car can actually kill you, and it has nothing to do with what's inside the bottle. Picture the bottle exactly where it usually sits. Curved sides, a rounded shoulder near the cap, sunlight coming in low through the glass beside it. Nothing about that scene looks dangerous. That is exactly the problem. It is hiding in plain sight. Most bottles sitting in most cars do nothing at all. Millions of them sit in cup holders every single day and nothing happens. The failure needs a very specific setup, a curve, an angle, a beam of light hitting exactly the wrong spot for exactly long enough. So if this is rare, why does it keep showing up in real fire reports from real cars with no other explanation? Because rare is not the same as impossible, and this mechanism has already been tested on purpose by someone who did not believe it either. Before we go further, one thing needs correcting, because most of what you assume about this is wrong in an interesting way. And honesty requires one more admission up front. No documented human death has ever been tied to this exact chain. A bottle acting as a lens, starting a car fire, and spreading into an attached garage while someone sleeps. As far as the record shows, that hasn't happened. What has happened, confirmed by the London Fire Brigade, is a glass jar on a windowsill refracting sunlight and starting a house fire that killed the family's dog while nobody was home. Not a person, a pet. But it proves this exact kind of accident has already been fatal. They're turning an ordinary piece of glass into a deadly hazard. Ordinary sunlight coming through a car window already carries a surprising amount of energy, roughly as much as a small space heater. That energy is spread out across every square meter it touches. Spread out, it is harmless. Your seat just gets warm. A clear bottle full of water does something a flat window cannot. Curved in every direction, it behaves less like packaging and more like a lens, an optically perfect trap. It takes that spread out energy and pulls it down, one single point, smaller than a millimeter across. That is the entire idea behind a magnifying glass too. Nothing about the total energy changes, only where it lands changes, concentrated instead of spread out. It is basically a magnifying glass that also happens to be recyclable. Campers use the same trick on purpose. A fire starting kit sold at outdoor stores is nothing but a small glass lens and a strong claim about sunlight. It works exactly the way it claims to. Hold that same kind of point over a scrap of wood long enough, and you can burn your initials into it without touching a match. Kids have done this on porches for 100 years, and the bottle in your cup holder is built from a similar curve. My own water bottle got moved to the trunk the same afternoon I learned that. A flat sheet of plastic does not do this. The shape has to curve in every direction at once, not just one, like a windshield. Ribbed or textured bottles scatter that same beam instead of focusing it, which is the one design accident currently working in your favor. Smooth round ones do not have that excuse. That's the trap. Paper catches fire at a little over 450 degrees. That number is not a guess. It's where a famous novel got its title from. Vinyl seat material starts to burn at almost the exact same temperature, and a fire department confirmed that by testing it themselves. This has already happened for real, more than once. In 2017, a technician working outside in blistering heat left a clear water bottle on the front seat of his own truck. He noticed smoke out of the corner of his eye before he noticed anything else. No candle, no wiring fault. 2 small burn marks showed up in the leather, right under where the bottle had been sitting. The shape matched exactly what sunlight does when it gets forced through a curve. A heat gun held to the spot afterward read past 200 degrees. His company filmed him recreating it in full sun, and the seat started smoking again exactly the same way. A fire department in a different state ran its own version of the same test and got the same result. This is not just a water bottle problem either. Fish bowls left too close to curtains have done the same thing. Glass ornaments hung in a window have done it too, and jam jars, and even glass doorknobs. One fire brigade traced over 100 house fires back to sunlight hitting glass over a 5-year stretch. That count only includes the ones somebody actually managed to explain. Different object, same curve, same result. A fire that starts with nobody home and nothing plugged in, which tells you the lens is the variable that matters, not the water, not the plastic, not the brand printed on the label. Any clear curved surface can do this job if the geometry lines up for long enough, which means the bottle sitting on your seat right now is not just water in plastic. It is a lens, aimed by accident, waiting for the sun to line up. That is the mechanism. That is why leaving a water bottle in your car can genuinely kill you, and not one part of it involves drinking anything. The bottle does not need to be full. It does not need to be new. It just needs the right curve and enough light held steady in one place. Move the bottle an inch and nothing happens. Leave it exactly where gravity put it, and the sun does the rest of the work for free. For decades, this was folklore. An urban legend passed between mechanics and adjusters. Investigators assumed the risk was too small to matter. That assumption held right up until scorch patterns on real seats started matching the lab tests almost exactly, angle for angle. The manufacturer's warning label mentions choking hazards. It does not mention this. Tinted windows do not save you either. Tint blocks a wide spread of heat and glare across the whole window. It does nothing to one narrow ray already aimed and focused by the bottle sitting inside. The bottle is not thinking about your car. It is just doing physics badly on your behalf. Round bottles are worse than square ones because a full curve concentrates light from more directions at once. Clear water is worse than cloudy water because anything floating inside scatters the beam instead of focusing it. A full bottle is worse than an empty one, up to a point. Then an almost empty bottle, with the right dome of water left at the bottom, becomes its own separate lens. None of that is intuitive. Nothing about a bottle screams optics equipment. I assumed plastic could not focus anything. The second test proved me wrong instantly, and the seat underneath does not need much to give in. Sun-baked fabric and the foam beneath it are already close to their limit before the bottle even gets involved. None of this needs a heat wave. It does not need a black interior or a heat-trapping windshield, the two things everyone blames instead. Interior heat cooks a dashboard slowly, over hours, and rarely gets hot enough on its own to ignite anything. This mechanism skips all of that. It does not build heat across the whole cabin. It puts all of it in one coin-sized spot. A cabin can sit at a completely normal temperature while one exact point on the seat crosses the limit that fabric cannot survive. That is the part investigators keep coming back to. The rest of the car is fine. One point is not. Side windows make this worse than a windshield ever could. A windshield tilts away from the sun for most of the day. A side window can sit almost flat against a low afternoon sun for hours. It holds that same focus point in the same place the entire time. Reusable bottles make this more likely, not less. The dented aluminum ones are harmless. The clear plastic sports bottles with the built-in handle are shaped almost exactly like an accidental lens. Millions of them ride around in cup holders every single day, refilled and forgotten in the same spot for years. Which means the eco-friendly choice and the fire hazard are sometimes the exact same bottle. I did not expect that particular irony. This is the escalation nobody expects. Most of these fires do not happen while you are driving, they happen while the car is parked, which for a lot of people means sitting inside an attached garage overnight. A garage shares a wall, sometimes a ceiling, with the room where you are asleep. Most homes do not put a smoke detector anywhere near it. Smoke has to travel through a door, down a hallway, and up a staircase before the alarm above your bed even notices anything is wrong. By the time that happens, the fire has usually had a head start that already changed everything. This is why a bottle on a seat is not really a car story. It is a house story that starts in the driveway. Attached garages are the norm now, not the exception, in exactly the kind of housing built over the last few decades. Which means the setup that used to be rare now has a direct line into where people sleep. A bottle, a curve, a few hours of direct sun, that's all it takes. Nobody checks a parked car for this. There is no smell and no warning sign while it is happening. The only tell is a beam of light doing something it was never trained to do, unnoticed, for as long as the sun allows it. And honestly, my trunk suddenly feels like the safer seat. No death toll needs repeating here. The point is not how many. The point is how invisible the whole chain is until it isn't. So here's the full chain run back in order. A curved bottle bends light the way any lens does. Water adds its own bend on top. The two curves together aim scattered sunlight into a single point instead of letting it spread. That point lands on fabric already baked half the day by a closed car. Fabric fails before you would ever guess it could, and an attached garage turns a car problem into a house problem while everyone inside is asleep. That bottle in your cup holder is not thinking about any of this. It never has to. Next time it rides home and gets left on the seat, in a strip of afternoon sun, you will know exactly what it can do, and why the safest place for it was always the trunk. Thanks for watching. Every study and source used in this video is linked in the description.